Welcome back, everybody. I just wanted to say hello. We haven't seen each other in a long time, so we're going to keep on trucking along through this thing, and today we're going to work on the propaganda posters of World War II. All right? Okay, after World War II, after Pearl Harbor, the U.S. had to, or decided to, develop a propaganda campaign, and that's what we're going to talk about today: the posters and propaganda of World War II and the impact it had on the people on the home front during the war. So this is number 70, World War II, the home front, posters and propaganda. First of all, propaganda is information, often but not always, of a biased or misleading nature. It's used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of view. So one of the themes of this propaganda campaign with respect to posters was the nature of the enemy. These posters usually describe the enemy, such as his hate of religion, or how he persecuted civilians when it came to the Nazis, the killing of the Jews and other minorities, and made them look as if they were evil. So between the Japanese and the Germans, there were many posters that the theme was the nature of the enemy. So what you guys are going to do, you're going to take a look at some posters, and you're going to decide what theme it represents and why it represents that theme. So the example here, this poster represents the theme nature of the enemy. The eyes and the idea that the Nazis are watching you are to make people fear the enemy. All right? Okay, so this is your claim, all right, because you're claiming that this poster represents the theme, nature of the enemy. Then the next part, the eyes and the idea of eyes and the idea that the Nazis are watching. Whoops. This happens to be your evidence, and then this is the reasoning. It's made to make people fear the enemy. So remember, everything has to have your claim, your evidence, and your reasoning. The second theme is the need to work. Everyone has to get out in the workplace. They have to make war materials. They have to build ships. They have to get out in the coal mines. They have to get in the fields. Everyone has to participate at home to win the war in Europe and in Asia. This poster, famous poster, right, of Rosie the Riveter, we can do it. And one of the goals was to get women to get out into the workplace and work in the factories while the men were all fighting the war. So, again, an example of what we're going to do in a little while, as 70 left, is you're going to take the poster, decide what theme it is, and give your evidence and reason why. So this poster represents the theme of the need to work. Rosie the Riveter is used to inspire women to work in war factories. If women became factory workers, they could help win the war. All right, and Rosie the Riveter happens to be your evidence in this poster. The third theme is the need to fight, the need for fearless waging of war on land, sea, and skies, right? We have to get soldiers out there on the battlefield, and we need to fight against the Nazis and the Japanese. So here we have a poster here. In 1778, you see the patriots of the American Revolution, and now in 1943, soldiers marching off to war. Americans will always fight for liberty. This poster represents the need to fight. The soldiers of the American Revolution, World War II, are standing side by side. They both fought or are fighting for liberty. All right, so again, the evidence in the document is used to support your claim and your reasoning. The need to sacrifice. All right, you're going to have to... there's going to be food rations. There's going to be fuel rations. You're not going to be able to get the products you want. You're going to have to, in this case, another example of need to sacrifice is you're going to have to help fund the war, right? You're going to buy victory bonds or war bonds. In this case, you're going to need to grow your own food. If you grow your food, there's less food for you to buy at the stores. As a result, more of the food that's grown in the fields around the country can be used in the war effort, right, for the soldiers and so on. The need to sacrifice is the theme of this poster. People need to grow their own food at home and not buy in the stores. If you grew your own food, there would be more food for soldiers in the war. All right, so here the people are growing their victory garden at home. The evidence that you need for that one. The last theme is the Americans, what we're fighting for. What are the reasons why we're involved in this war? Remember, it took a long time for Americans to decide that they wanted to go to war. So this is a set of posters that try to, give everyone the reasons why we're doing what we're doing, okay? So in this case, you have a person who is voting, all right, in an old voting booth. Your right to vote is your opportunity to protect over here the freedoms for which Americans fight over there. And you can see the freedoms on top that they're voting. All right, so the poster represents the theme of the Americans. The person is voting. If we don't do what is necessary to win the war, we'll lose our freedoms. Freedom of expression, worship, speech, and press will be gone. And again, we see the evidence here in the document. All right? So that's the goal of today's lesson and this week's lesson. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Schoology. You're going to open the PowerPoint PDF titled 70 Left Propaganda, and you have to answer questions 1 through 4. Remember, all your responses have to have claims, reasoning, and evidence.